Small businesses are key to our economic survival. We need them, and they need government to remove obstacles to their success. But it seems there is no tangible commitment to making the sector boom. COVID-19 was touted as an opportunity to buy local. Has it worked? Business Leadership SA has called on government to urgently lift existing restrictions. With me is the organisation's CEO, Busisiwe Mavuso. Very good morning to you. Let's talk about the Clicks debacle. Is this something that could prompt the purchase and the investment into local produce?
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for inviting me. I don't think the Clicks debacle in and of itself can actually move the country in that direction, because when you look at why local production is not at the level where it is and local buying is not at the level where it is, it's precisely because from a policy perspective, we have failed to actually protect our manufacturing industry and our local industry. So South Africa is a dumping site for China, and there is very little protectionism, for those manufacturers and those local producers in the country, as it were. So I think more work is going to have to be done from a policy side, from a DTIC side, before we can actually see ourselves moving on a significant level to a local and local manufacturing and production.
Because we were promised a small business solution, weren't we? Where is it?
Absolutely. And I think that is precisely what we're going to have to look at. I think you would know the President responding to the Q2 GDP numbers. He spoke about the fact that we're going to have to ramp up our economic recovery strategy. We're going to have to come up with short and medium-term interventions that we're actually going to unleash into the economy to try and salvage the situation. He spoke about the fact that the social partners are busy putting together that strategy so that he can pronounce on it. So let's hope that whatever strategy comes out from NECLEC is one that seeks to focus on SMMEs, is one that seeks to ramp up local production, is one that seeks to actually ensure that the structural reforms that we've been talking about are actually implemented so that we can start positioning ourselves as the investment destination that we're supposed to be in the African continent. Because without those interventions, without that focus, then unfortunately, this 51% annualized negative growth, is going to be a worse number when we come to quarter four.
I mean, if you look at China, they have Consumption Month. And it's quite important because they get locals to buy local. And we don't really have that sort of thing here. COVID-19 was used as an example to really get business going, especially small businesses, to invest in South African produce. But it still seems that it's easier to buy from China and use it here.
And you're spot on, Jenna, but if you look at it, this is a pure function of affordability. This is a pure function of what people can afford and what they cannot afford. I mean, if you're sitting in an environment where 31% unemployment in terms of the narrow definition and 40% in terms of the expanded definition, with more people unemployed than those that are employed in all the provinces except Gauteng and the Western Cape, let's agree that in that environment, people are actually going to try and get the best back for their money. They're actually going to try and stretch their rent as much as possible. And I think that situation has actually been exacerbated by the fact that we've just lost 3 million jobs over the past 5 months. And the GDP numbers looking the way they are looking, let's agree that we could be facing, without interventions, we could be facing a more severe bloodbath on the jobs front. So it's therefore important why you probably need to ensure that the environment is made conducive. So I don't think that we're in a position to actually compare ourselves to what China is doing, because 30 million South Africans are living in poverty. Out of 59 million South Africans, 30 are living in poverty. So you can see that the comparison is therefore, you can't even begin to compare South Africa and China from that perspective. It goes without saying that in this environment, given the facts and the environment within which we're operating, people are actually going to go for the cheap products, and in this environment, it happens to be China.
Always good to talk to you. Thank you very much for that.